Hey, this is Ken Kareem. Everybody know me as Kippy. Welcome back to Can We Talk Podcast. I'm glad to be here as one of the co-hosts.
Hey, I'm Big J. I'm co-host of Can We Talk Podcast. Like he said, we're doing episode 7. Welcome back to Can We Talk Podcast. Topic today is men's health and wellness, physical health, mental health, everything around the board is what we'll be sharing today.
Daryl Morton Development Group. My nonprofit covers mental happiness, food distribution, financial literacy, and community service.
And I'm co-host Cherie.
Well, we can get this thing started talking about mental health as well as men's health and how important it is, and really how important it is in the Black community. And I'm glad you had me on. I kind of wanted to share my story real quick, and then we can get into the other topics that you want to talk about in terms of mental health. And I'll try to make my story quick, but this is one of the reasons why I really wanted to come on. And you know, this is like my sister, it's my cousin, but we're like brother. We were raised like brother and sister, especially her sister, her older sister. For me, what happened with me, and I really want to make it aware for Black men. So one day, I was at a Super Bowl party and my filling fell out my tooth, and it kind of got exposed. And I said, man, I got to go to the dentist. So I set up an appointment to go to the dentist the next day after the Super Bowl Sunday. I get to the dentist, and because of the damage that was in my tooth, she took my blood pressure. And she told me she could not perform the dentist work on me because my blood pressure was so high. She asked me, was I on any type of blood pressure medicine, anything that I knew about? I said, no, I didn't even know my blood pressure was high. I've been walking around normal. Mm-hmm. She said, your blood pressure is 173 over 117. Now, if you know anything about blood pressure, anything higher than that, I was really walking in.
Walking dead, man.
Yeah, I was a walking dead man and didn't know it because I'm out here having fun, partying, eating all kind of crap. Like I said, I was at a Super Bowl party. And so she gave me some water, told me to sit back. I sat back so long, I almost went to sleep. So that tells you how relaxed I was. She came back, she checked it again. It did not budge. It didn't go up, it didn't go down. It stayed around the same. The dentist did not even want to perform the work that they needed to perform on me because my blood pressure was so high.
And they'll be liable for if something happened to you, you could sue them.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, as far as health-wise, growing up, I watched you. You was always athletic. You played basketball. You played all kind of sports. Later on, you wound up being a coach. When did you start taking your health-wise, your physical health seriously?
You know what? I always thought I was doing something because, for one, you know, we are Muslim for so long. So I wasn't eating pork. It was certain things I wasn't doing, and for some reason, I thought that I was being healthy. You know, like, we don't eat that crap. Don't give me that.
By not eating the pork, right?
Yeah, so we're thinking, we don't eat that, and then I don't drink or smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't drink.
So you really thought you was really like, damn, I'm in tip-top shape.
I was like, I'm in tip-top shape. I've never drank. I've never smoked. You know, people that know me know I got a son in the league, so I was practicing with him and running around and coaching at high school, Central and West Bloomfield. So I thought I was doing something. I was the last person to think that I had ultimately, because I ended up going to my doctor and got diagnosed with hypertension. And so when he diagnosed me with hypertension, you know, I had to take different EKGs, different stuff for my, you know, different tests I was taking. They put me on like 3 different meds. And if anybody know me, you know, I don't like taking meds. I don't like doing nothing. I've had shoulder surgery and got off my meds probably 2-3 days after I came home. You know, I was just dealing with the pain.
There's a lot of Black men in the Black community, they don't take health seriously until something like that happens, or a lot of them, they die in their sleep of heart disease. Heart disease is the #1 Black killer for men in the Black community. Absolutely. They don't even know this. They call it the silent killer because they don't even realize they got heart disease till they dead and gone. They just don't wake up one day. So
had I not had that tooth issue, I probably wouldn't have went to the doctor.
Wow.
Right.
But my tooth was exposed to the point where I was had to put a towel over so no wind would, you know, because it was exposed. So had I not dealt with a dentist incident, I wouldn't even knew.
Because you was feeling well and everything.
I thought I was. I'm running around. I was feeling good. I was about 255. I'm 6 feet. I was about 255 at the time. And if had that not happened, I wouldn't even went to the doctor.
Right.
And so when I ended up going to the doctor, once I went, I had to keep going. You know, I had to go up,
Yeah.
follow up appointments and
Thank
different
God
stuff
you
I was
went.
doing. But yeah, it was just like God was telling me by making that happen to my tooth that I was dealing with heart issues. And for me, when you ask when I really took it serious, it's 2 years ago when this happened to me. So Super Bowl Sunday, 2 years ago. So 24, what's this, 26? Yeah, so 20, the day, yeah, so and it happened as soon as I walked in.
That's deep.
Like I walked in the door and I was walking through the basement
I remember
and
that.
my tooth, I was like,
I
damn,
remember it.
I was like, what the hell? I wasn't even eating nothing. And then I'm wearing in the bathroom and I'm spitting out chunks and stuff. I'm like,
Metal and
what,
shit.
I'm like, what the hell is going on with me?
Choking on metal.
Dude, I had just got there. I couldn't even enjoy myself. Like my tooth was hurting at the party, you know?
Right.
And so the next day I literally, you know, went to the dentist, found out I had all these different heart issues. And that be the thing, as black men, we don't go to the doctor. And after that,
Don't
man,
get your
I started doing homework on what we think is eating good. Like we go Thanksgiving, we be like, man, we ate good. Really, you ate bad. You know, you ate cheese and turkey and beef and
They
pork.
be eating them chitlins.
And chitlins. So I started doing homework. So for the last 2 years, I haven't eaten anything but fish, baked chicken breasts. And I drink a ton of smoothies. I drink plant-based. You know, my daughter
Avocados,
is avocados, bananas,
blueberries.
like every day.
does.
And I be in the gym all the time. And I post. You see me posting times I go
I
to
be
the gym.
rolling like this.
And I post, and my old ass be in the
Rusty.
gym.
You're right.
But I
Get
do
outta
that.
here.
I do that for people to kind of motivate some people to try to change because it's later for dad bods. I went from 255 down to 225.
That was good.
All my clothes got too big, and then I started building muscle. So right now I'm hovering around 235, 240. But you know,
never too late to change.
I try to build a little bit. So that was my thing. They did put me on meds, but I kind of got away from the meds. But
We're natural, organic.
went up natural and organic. You know, my daughter is vegan, my son is vegan.
Okay.
And they kind of
Shout
put
out
me
to
on stuff.
Tootsie.
Yeah, Tootsie and Lid and Khalid. I think he just started eating because obviously he's in the league. He just started taking animal-based protein, but he don't eat no meat. He only take animal-based protein. Everything else is prepared by a chef. He don't eat no kind of meat. And they kind of got me on that. And so I just started eating fish.
It's a
and-
lifestyle. You just changed the
I
way
changed
you
my
eat.
whole lifestyle, man. I don't eat turkey because, you know, it got stuff in it to make you sleepy. And the thing about it is you should be eating, I don't eat lamb because it's too fatty. So
I don't
end
eat
up-
lamb. It's
So I end
nasty.
up,
Tastes like rubber.
Really?
so for my story
To me.
was I ended up having my
One of the most
gallbladder
expensive meats.
removed because of that fatty foods like steak and lamb and dairy. So I had my gallbladder removed, and then I had a gut issue just last year. So I had to have surgery to remove a piece of my intestines that was
Yeah.
infected.
Dang.
That you know about. And
Yeah.
the way they went in, I had surgery, and I posted that I had surgery, but I never said what I had surgery about because for one, it was embarrassing. Because like you said, I'm used to being fit.
And tip top. Let me ask you this before we move on. And Shauna, you can ask your question.
Okay.
You can go on.
What is some common mental health issues in men?
One of the most to me, and I'll let Daryl jump
Touch
in
on
on
that.
this,
Okay.
but one of the issues for me when it comes to mental health for men is holding in your feelings. You know,
Okay.
Because
not
like you
really express your
said,
feelings.
like when you go through something with your health, like man, y'all shy away from people,
I was embarrassed.
and y'all
Yeah.
don't feel comfortable, and that's a fact. You hear
Yeah.
what he's saying? He was embarrassed, but it's time out for that. It's all about
Yeah.
getting them numbers, getting 85, 90 years. We can live to be 100. We want them Bible numbers. We want the 110.
He picked me up right after I had surgery. You remember how? And I was so, messy. It was just tough for me.
yeah.
So I was very embarrassed.
After
And
my
moving
Your
surgery.
on
question,
for
to
him-
answer her question.
I'm
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Like how he said, he felt ashamed and he shied away from people because of what he was going through. That's where the mental health to me kick in at.
Yes.
Now, can you share a little bit more, Daryl, about your nonprofit and your work in the mental health field, and maybe you can help us understand this field that he was going through, far as shying
Okay.
away from people.
Exactly. And then one thing I'm also going to do on a spot on also when it comes to our health, a lot of things that we have to do now and be a little bit smarter is check your genetics. Check out what happened to your grandmother and grandfather and your father. There's a lot of things that we have. We just like Kit was saying, he was healthy, but what did his dad have? What did his grandfather have? You know, so a lot of things that come up.
Hereditary?
It was all hereditary. You have those things. You might have a history of high blood pressure or heart disease, but it's not you. You can be physically fit, but that diabetes is coming down from 2 or 3 generations.
Wow.
Because they may have ate certain foods, you know.
Yep.
Cold bologna or hog maws or whatever. And that stuff is in
Chitlins,
the system.
just
It's in the
pork.
system.
But you can break that
Yeah.
curse.
You can break the curse.
Even with high blood pressure, diabetes, you can break the curse by changing your lifestyle.
Well, no, but what I'm saying in advance, you know, we have
sure.
to teach the youth start studying their genetics of their family history.
history, so
then
you
they won't
see.
even have. They'll know. Okay, well, there's a heart disease going on, and then then when it comes to the mental health, also, a lot of your health will bring your spirits down tremendously. You know, injuries from sports and football. You know, Kip's son, who's a very good athlete, he suffered some serious injuries. My son, who played professional football also, he suffered some bad injuries in high school and in college. And the thing about it is that we don't know. We assume, okay, they're out here in the spotlight, but they have mental issues because of those injuries. Because every day they'll feel like, wow, if I didn't have this injury, I would be this level. I would be in this financial classifications with my contracts. So that's another.
It's a lot to take in.
It's a lot to take in for these young men, which is really hard. Or, you know, I have another son got hit by a car while he was training. He played basketball, college basketball. He got hit by a car and he thought he was okay. The next day he had some walking issues. And I believe it's still embedded in
that
him
trauma,
right now.
that was traumatic
The
to him
anger,
because he
yes.
lost what he
had.
loved to
Exactly.
do.
So that happens. So my organization is Morton Development Group, and we're a community-centered nonprofit. We don't specify one particular thing that we do. Yes, we deal with mental health, which I really call mental happiness. We also deal with food insecurity. I'm a partner with the local food distribution called Forgotten Harvest. And we service over
We
300 to
clapping it up.
400
He dedicated, he's serving the
families
community.
a month. We do that.
I ain't paid for fruit in a year.
Right. Avocado. That's why I spoke of avocados and bananas. Yeah, he comes and
need to
gets
get some of that
Right. He got
After the event,
some,
Yeah.
come and get the leftovers.
Yeah.
Come with some leftovers. I'm about to show up. I need some of them leftovers.
There's leftovers there. You got any cranberries over there?
Right. So,
Avocado.
yeah. So another thing that when you talk about hereditary, also is the financial literacy in the community for men. Men. We are supposed to be the takeover. We're supposed to run the household, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. So then it's another problem. You feel down, you're mad, you're angry, but you try to hold it in, but you're angry. Recently, a couple of days ago, there was a politician out of Virginia that had a sexual assault situation, screwed his career up. He couldn't get a job. Him and his wife were getting a divorce. They were still sitting in the house together. He just recently, 4 days ago, he murdered his wife and murdered himself. Personally,
That's
should have
so
kicked out the
cold.
middle-man and just killed yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Why kill that woman? She has kids. That's a selfish death, unforgivable. But
Yeah.
the situation was the lack of his financial literacy and his mental health because of the what he created, which I guess the alleged sexual assault. But he definitely had mental issues and everything. It would have been great if someone would have stepped in and said, "Look, I know you're down, but we're going to step in and help you out." But he was left there on the island. Never should have touched his wife. But that's one of those things that happens with that mental
You think
health
his
trigger.
ego got in the way? Because a lot of people that go through mental health things, situations at that moment, because they don't last forever. Some people just have a certain spells. There's certain things that can push a person. You feel me? So, far as since you guys are in the sports and have sons in the sports, do y'all think that coach from Michigan State that got caught up with cheating on his
Michigan?
wife, Michigan
Both of
was
them.
it? You think he
Oh,
went
right,
through
both
some
of them. I'm
mental? The
sorry.
black guy,
Something mental?
that coach that just lost everything behind him having a mistress that was his.
Well, it's hard for me to speak on that, but I can say
Okay.
one different thing.
Okay.
If you're already a maintained man,
Mm-hmm.
if you're already a disciplined man from high school and college, and you're praying and you're thanking God for the fact that you have the opportunity to be this big time head coach, which is dominated by non-blacks. So first of all, you got to have your own base. So you got to know what you are. You got to thank God that I'm a man, thank Allah that I have this position. Before you start looking around and being unfocused, you're there to coach football. And then you have to be a strong enough man to know this is not a level that I want to get on because I have my wife, I have my kids. This is where I'm trying to
And
be.
he under the spotlight. He didn't have
Yeah.
no little league coach job. He had a
so
major
that started.
coaching
That
job.
started with this person beforehand. Maybe he was not exposed to a lot of women,
Yeah.
coming up. So now, wow, I got someone that's attracted to me because I'm the coach. So mental wellness and that was a mental health because it was what it was. Even though they're on a big stage, it was still a lack of confidence, in my opinion. Your confidence was low for you to do what you did.
Okay.
In front of your wife.
Right. Right.
So what you
embarrassed
want-
his wife.
Yeah.
And I was about to say, Juana, you very educated in this field. What's your thoughts, both of y'all as women, when you think about men, in our
mental
health?
health
Yeah,
issues.
like do you see a man like you think of like maybe somebody you dated, husband, boyfriend, cousins, brothers, and say, man, why they don't do the things that we do as women?
You can share first, Sean.
No,
I
you
want to
go
see what you
first.
feel about it.
I know you got
Well,
you and I
I'm gonna
talk-
just be real. From the environment and the community I came up in is poverty, drug infested. It's just a lot going on. So mostly all the men, I ain't gonna say mostly all the men throughout my life that I feel that I chose or dated, they had mental health issues, but we didn't know it. I already knew what I was going against when I was dating them. I seen this from the beginning, as far as even being in elementary, going back to the civil rights days, the things that men was going through. They weren't allowed to be a man. A black man couldn't be a man.
Right, yeah.
He had to dumb himself down to the white man as he was inferior. So I feel as though it started way back. It's deep rooted, like you said.
Deep-rooted.
You got to trace your roots. It snowballed into certain different dynamics. So
Right.
I just, from the beginning, every guy that I done dated, they was wild. They was different. They had mental health issues, far as I know, but it wasn't diagnosed and it wasn't addressed because back when, in my day, when I started dating at 16, 17, 18, mental health was not a thing in the black community because we was all built strong and we went through the civil rights thing. We beat slavery. You get what I'm saying? We was always taught to be strong. Well, y'all was taught to be strong.
Yes.
So any man that I ever dated, I knew I had to come in and handle them with care. And these were stone cold street guys, murderers. These were stone cold killers that had killed their first body at 14. But this was trauma that was forced on them from different
The
things they
childhood
experienced
trauma,
from childhood through life.
When did you-
Being neglected. Then from neglect, getting involved in the drug game because they wanted more that their parents or their mother or a single mother or father or grandma couldn't give them. They seeing, Tim in the school with the brand new Gucci's and this and that. They wanted these things, and these type of situations pushed them to move outside and get involved in a street gang, and a lot came with that. So I knew what type of guys that I always chose. Unfortunately, I love street guys, and I always chose these guys.
Me too.
And a lot of things came with it,
Right.
and they had a lot of shit on their mind.
When did you realize it? When you
That's what
became
you
a
was raised
professional?
around.
No,
When you became a
I
professional?
just always conditioned it because I watched I'm from a big family. I watched my aunts and uncles, or most of the women in my family, handle these men with care. They didn't handle them like they was no different. They just was gentle with them, and they met them where they was at. And when I date these guys, these particular caliber guys that I liked I already knew what to expect, and I met them where they was at, and I knew how to handle them with care. Even though I went through some pain because of the trauma they went through. You get what I'm
Right,
saying? I
yeah.
suffered.
Exactly.
But I was like, it's okay, but it wasn't okay. But I'm looking back where I was raised, and I watched my mother and my aunts and people around me cater to these men with these issues and just handled them with care and made things right and stood tall and stayed there to the bitter end. You get it? So mental health didn't come to me as far as a big thing. For the last 10 years, it's been coming big, but we've been dealing with that in the black community all our
Right.
lives, coming here from Africa, from the slave ships
That's
onto
very true.
America.
Yeah.
So it was embedded in us.
And then I think a lot of men deal with mental health because of their job loss, their financial, because if a man ain't got no money,
He don't
then
feel like
he don't feel like
he feel
himself.
less
So
than.
Society
Society make you
makes
feel
you
less
feel like
than.
that
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
when you got maybe a regular 9 to 5 for a long time, that was looked at as a weak
Shun
man.
that was
'Cause
looked
I
at like it
remember-
wasn't shit.
Because I
Nine to
remember when I
five.
was
Shit.
doing dibbling, dabbling in the streets, some of the girls I would deal with or date, you know, yeah, they thought that I was better than the guy that maybe worked at the plant
That
or
worked
maybe worked a
hard.
regular
Exactly.
job. And really, I
And a 9
remember,
to 5 is really
specifically, I remember specifically telling the girl, I'm no better than dog. I'm probably worse. You know what I mean? Because I'm not a good dude.
Right.
I'm not even what you want to deal with at
Right.
that time, especially
Yes.
at that age. You probably want to deal with him because he want to be married. He's gonna be dedicated.
more
to it.
stable.
I'm gonna
I
be
got
here for
a,
a
I got a
minute.
stable.
I'm gonna be here for
I
a
got
minute.
a roster. So
That
at that,
financial
time,
stress
at that
for you.
time,
Yeah.
because we was young, we was doing all kind of stuff, and that's what we was
That
raised
financial
around.
stress
And
play a big
And
part.
even me, like I remember getting a job at Chrysler when I was 18. I ended up injuring my finger, and I was supposed to go back to finish my stuff, and I never went back because at that time we was hustling. And my phone, I
Money
remember my
was
mama
plentiful
calling me
back
like, they
then.
didn't called you. Why you ain't called this lady back? I'm like, I'm not calling her back. You know, and at that, and you got to think about it. I was 18. I'm 52. So I'll probably be retired by now, you know, had I went. But I'm
Right.
glad I didn't. Life worked out for me. But I just look back and say, man, jobs and a lot of that is mental.
Yeah.
You know, and not only in men, I know this segment is about men, but you see it in women. And,
Yeah, for
and a lot of
sure.
it's mental and how we was raised and the things we were raised, the things and the people we were raised around. Because those was
Yeah.
the guys we looked up to.
Yep.
There's so
The
many
killers
guys
and
looked up
drug
to me
dealers,
for
shit.
whatever reason. I walk in and guys older than me talking about, what's up, Unc? But
Like,
most
how
of the
you
time,
up?
most of the time, well, you most of the time,
Right.
most of the time, you calling guys Unc that you look up to
Right. Exactly.
versus the age. Like,
Yes.
dude, you older than me or my age, but
Right.
you saying Unc
You saying,
or
yeah.
big bro. Or,
But that
you
was
know
a
what I mean?
respect thing. They was saluting you because it's based on where we came from. If you, well, nah, when the fast money and drugs flooded the community, that's when we put it as that the drug dealer is the man or the street guy's the man, because we came from generations where the black man fought to become stable and steady and respected as a
Yes.
businessman, a business owner, white collar worker, or blue collar. So we respected
Right.
a man, while our parents respected a man that went to work every day. But
Right.
the dynamics changed when the drugs came to the community and got involved.
They got
Do you
everything right
agree?
now. They got the car right now
Yeah,
at 21.
they had it was
And it affected-
they had
Yeah.
working hard. It was not
Right.
about that no more. No, we want it easy.
But it
We
all-
want that easy paper.
For sure, and it affected us mentally, and it affected our health. So, like right now, I'll be looking like later for dad bods. Like I look at this, we can walk in the room,
Right.
You know, $10,000 worth of jewelry and watches
Right.
and Gucci this and all this
Right.
stuff, and it could be a guy that walk in there that's fit. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
fit, and all he
You
got on
choose
is a
that
t-shirt
health
and
and
some
wellness.
sweat. He got
Right.
a t-shirt and some sweats, and,
Right.
and his body is his flex.
Right, and that's
and
what-
I'm like that. I'm
Right.
not me. I'm saying I'm like that now. I look at cats. I be wanting to ask him, you taking something like what what's your
Right.
regimen?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm looking up to. He ain't even dressed. He got on some, like my son. My son, even though he a baller,
Well, we
but
got
just
a whole
his
different
body.
category
No,
now.
because somebody might not even know he a
Yeah,
baller.
right.
He walk in with some flip flops and some sweats on
Right.
versus
They
this
gonna
cat
play him
over
like an
here.
average Joe.
They gonna look at dog like damn, my
Yeah.
man.
Oh, it's definitely that
because
way.
you so fit and you need to let your body and your body of work. It shows your discipline.
Yes.
It shows your mentality. It shows more than just the fact that you fit. It shows a lot of things. And if we talk about mentally, that's where we need to be. Because for me, like we talked about earlier, I thought I was doing a lot of things right. Not eating, not drinking. I never smoked weed or never drank. I smoke cigars, but I don't, you know what I mean? So and I don't eat pork. I didn't. Now I don't eat any type of meat. The only meat I eat is once or twice a week. We specifically bake chicken breasts.
Okay.
And that's it. And that's like maybe twice a week. Other than that, we're doing fish. We're doing different type of protein shakes. We doing different things like that. So, to get, to try to stay healthy. And to those people who might have the argument that, well, everybody gonna die. You can do all this
Yeah,
stuff
they
and
be
you
like,
still
"Gotta die
gonna
from
die.
something one day."
You gotta die from something.
That's an excuse.
But here's the thing. You want your quality of life to be strong. You know how many young guys I know that's diabetic, that's got heart issues, that can't run. I was just looking at something today. It made me feel kind of cocky. Well, I was looking at this, and this just went viral. Just something I happened to look at, and the guy was saying, how many push-ups you could do at a certain age. You know, we in our 50s, and it's like, well, the average 50-year-old can do 9 to 24 or something. I'm like, shit, I can do 50. I felt good. I was like, oh shit, I must be doing something right. You know, and but that's true. And so if you're telling me a 50-year-old, the average 50-year-old can only do 9 push-ups, that's showing a lot of signs of weakness. And mentality is, I ain't stronger than you, so what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull my pistol.
Yeah, that's the first
I can't
thing.
fight. I ain't
Fight is
strong.
over with.
I ain't strong. I
got
can't
that.
handle you. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna pull my pistol because I can't
Now,
fight
let
no
me-
more.
Sean, I want you to, and it's a question for all you guys on the panel. Do y'all think social media have created a whole bunch of new mental health cases as far as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter? Do y'all think that's a major key factor now as far as mental health in this society as of now, 2026, the new millennium and these kids coming up? And
Kids ain't
how do you
gonna-
think
and
they
older
should
people
protect
too.
themselves? I'm going to start with you because you always talk about
I
the
think,
media and
I think for sure,
play a big part.
Facebook for sure play a big part because, you know, you see these people now on Facebook now, like I saw one maybe like a couple weeks ago. Like it was this man who had left work early. He punched out, clocked out, and he drove down to the water, and he was live on Facebook, you know what I'm saying, ready to jump. He was on Facebook smoking his weed, and he was out there, you know, he was just crying and stuff. And he was saying he was just ready to end his life. He was ready to jump. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't the first person I saw on
He
Facebook.
went on Facebook Live.
He was on
For
Facebook
some reason.
Live.
Something
Live.
told him to go on that.
Yeah, he's not the
platform.
only one though.
Oh, for
but
sure.
I really think they go on there because
Attention, you
they
think?
want somebody to feel bad for them, but they really don't want to do it because I think if you want to do it, you wouldn't go on Facebook. You would just go do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you looking for
You would
some
just go do
attention?
it. So Facebook, yeah, definitely looking for some attention.
Validation.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, if we're going down the list, I would say this: there's a case right now where the person won. She sued.
Yeah, I saw
she
that.
sued Facebook and won
Parents did.
because her
For mental
parents-
health issues? It caused her
what
stress and
happened-
mental health?
Yeah, because what happened, she felt that social media is causing her child or whatever. I didn't do a whole lot of research on it, but it's current. It's like maybe the last couple of weeks where they were saying that social media causing her some type of addiction. She's addicted.
Yeah,
to
then
it.
they'll try to bully
And she
you on
can't
there.
get off the screen, and she addicted. And she ended up winning the case.
Sure did.
Wow.
Against Facebook, like right now. I don't know if
Wow.
he's paid her out or what the numbers are. Probably do some research
gonna have to
on
Google
it.
that, yeah.
So I think social media definitely play a role because another thing is, like you and I came up, you know, we always been stylish. We always had a little something. We used to call ourselves the richer of the poor people. So people used to look up to us and stuff like that. And people trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
They're trying to, and they think everything on Facebook is
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's fake.
real, and it's fake. They think it's
Right.
real,
Yeah.
and it's not fake. I mean, it's not real. It's fake.
Right.
And so I think people trying to keep up with something they
Right.
saw on Facebook.
Right, understood.
What's your thoughts
So
on
I'm kind of biased on it. Wu, I think, was saying that he doesn't advocate for social media. It's a flip side to that because sometimes there's some great messages on there.
Oh, for sure.
You know, people might talk
Yeah.
about what do you do if you got, let's go back to health, if you got, got high blood pressure. So instead of calling the doctor, you can actually see a human being that's actually fighting that right there. Or you can see a person that's coming from losing a loved one. You can catch that person on there. Now, there's a difference between addiction. The addiction part is where the younger children and all that are doing that. But then I have to wonder and everything. Okay, we sued Facebook and everything, but where were you at when this child was at home on the system? Now you're blaming Facebook and you won, but what were you doing when the child was in there? How many
Right.
phones did when did you get this child a phone? At 5? There's some responsibility from the parents also. Okay, we're not taking the kids outside anymore. We're not taking them to the nature parks anymore. But I don't really think social media is a bad thing at all. Social media is the reason we're doing this podcast. Social media is the reason that some businesses grow, support groups go, mental initiatives grow. So spirituality grows. So I don't think it's a bad thing at all. It's just how it's used. Anything that you overuse is going to be bad. Whether you're smoking a cigar, whether you're drinking tequila, whatever, whether you're just lifting weights too much. I mean, you're going to be sore like I am now. You're going to just cut it because you're overdoing it. That's what it is. Everything needs to be done in moderation.
Moderation, okay. I want to thank you for coming on, Daryl, today and sharing with our panel on episode 7, Black men, mental health and wellness. Man, you shared a lot of informative information that's valuable to me, and I know it'll also be valuable to our viewers. And I just want to let you know, in the near future, you got a place to come share anytime, any moment. Just reach out to me and let's do it. But I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you.
I appreciate being on the panel.
Appreciate you doing it, man. And do you want to plug anything that you got coming up?
Yeah, you want to share anything?
We have so many different. It's going to be on the website, which is www.moneyforwellness.org. www.moneyforwellness.org. We have activities all of the time. You can just go to our website. We do everything.
You have a Facebook or Instagram?
We have a Facebook. And we do have an Instagram, and we do everything. We have local speakers, Dr. Sabrina Jackson from
I'm
Fox
familiar with
Female.
Dr. Sabrina.
She spoke at
Yeah, we have
she did a great thing.
Dr. Portia Lockett. We have so many people, and we have people come in. Like usually, we stop the group at about 50, no charge. We serve good food, and we just keep the community going. And we serve everyone. We're located in Harper Woods, but we service Detroit, Grosse Pointe, St. Clair Shores, because everyone is in need. Everybody needs to work on their mental health.
You heard it for him first. Come on, tap in with him. Clap it up. Thank you for being a guest today.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Hey, this Big J. Welcome back to Can We Talk Podcast, episode 7, where we're discussing men's health, wellness, and mental health. This is segment 2. We got 2 new guests joining the panel. We about to tape in on some heavy shit right now. Man. Introduce yourself, bro.
I'm William.
Wu-Tang, Woody, Woolin, Wood, what? Okay?
Wimberley, most people know me as Dito.
Okay. So, I'm going to just kick this off. Since we discussing health and wellness, I'm going to kick off. Do y'all think a lot of some mental health issues come from us women? Like, that we cause it with our mates or our significant others, our companion? Do you think it come for us nagging y'all or us doing things to trigger y'all or what? Share, because I want to know, because y'all always trying to blame. You want to blame. You always want to blame the bra.
Let's start with you.
All right. So I'm gonna say it like this: man's main job in the house is protect and provide, right? So a lot of times our mental health be ignored. We always cater to the woman's mental health, and a lot of times when guys got shit in their mind, we don't share a lot of stuff. So we basically cater to y'all mental health all day, and y'all constantly on our heads about everything else. But like, for instance, we can have a real fucked up day at work. We get home, cater to y'all, and the first thing y'all do is just lash off on us. We've been lashed off on all fucking day at work. And the first thing y'all do is say, healing y'all man, y'all get down his throat.
Not
So
me.
a lot of times, like, yeah, females can cause mental health problem within their man, because you gotta understand, like, a lot of guys come from the mental abuse home from their mothers.
Yep.
So now you're just added on to it. Men are had a bad day outside his home. Now he's coming home to get more abuse. You know, and your home supposed to be a safe haven. But a lot of women don't make that home a safe haven for her man.
So what was one of your triggers? Give me an example with somebody you dated or your ex-wife or something that's really just pushed you like, I gotta leave this bald head hoe alone right now today. Fuck it.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Now these days, Now these days, I became more cutthroat when it comes to that.
What you mean cutthroat?
I'm gonna give you an example. I got a saying in my life. I treat people like basically like an infection in my life. So I'm saying, sometimes you gotta cut off a finger to save a hand. So if you cause too much drama in my life and you don't make my home a safe haven for me, I'll cut you off. We could be together for 5 years. I'll cut you off. Because when I have kids by you or a house by you, technically you was never my ex.
So your trigger was your old lady nagging you. That was your issue you felt that could push you, or it was far as Now you divorced, but how is it co-parenting? How did that lies? I know you got custody of your 3 kids and you're
Yeah.
a damn good father. But far as co-parenting, you counted her out and you just moved on completely, or you just
I moved on completely because my thing is this. Like I said, man's job is to protect and provide. I'm gonna do what I gotta do for them kids because, at the end of the day, the kids are my obligation. So I'm saying, having one in my life, that's just an add-on. You know,
When you say taking care of the kids and moving on, does this affect you mentally anytime?
Oh,
Like, do
yeah,
you
it
have
does.
times when you have to dip away, or just maybe in the car, or does it, as far
I
as
was like
mental, to keep on along with the theme, was it mental issues? I mean, was it something that caused your mentality or the way you think to be altered? Do you feel like you're yourself now, having gone through that?
no, I'm not myself. I ain't gonna lie.
why'd you say that? Yeah.
I'm sorry like this. When you a full-time father and you doing this by yourself, there is no resting time. So I'm saying, because like there's work. After work, I'm coming straight home, I'm taking care of business. If the kids ain't at home, I'm taking care of business around the house. I'm taking care of the house, the bills, anything that can add on to the house. The only time you have to rest and really think about things, in my situation, sometimes is when you at work. And let's be honest, how much time you get to yourself at work?
Right.
And then where I work at, I'm dealing with inmates. So those like 64 fucking kids right there because
Hell yeah,
they
them
came from
motherfuckers
fatherless
crazy.
homes. So most
Right.
of them guys
got
they
mental
think
health
like
issues,
kids.
yeah.
So when you say you're dealing with inmates, is
I'm
it
dealing-
okay? What's your title? What's your job? If that's okay.
I'm a sheriff deputy, sir.
Okay, so as a sheriff deputy dealing with inmates, so you can't take what you're dealing with at home to
Oh,
work.
no, I gotta separate two.
Right.
I don't bring my home to work and vice versa. I don't do that. Like, because I don't want to take my anger out on somebody there at the building, because it could be an inmate who's basically innocent. And I'm going off for him like, cause some home situation. And I ain't trying to bring that shit home to my kids, either way it goes, whether it's an inmate or my kids, they ain't do shit to me.
Right.
Everything happened in my life, I could blame everybody else, but at the end of the day, I made this bed, I got to lie in this shit. So I got to handle this own situation myself,
So what you do now, you think your mental health situation got better once you finally got over your mate or divorced and, starting all over being a single dad? Do you think that brought you peace and you as far as mentally? And then what do you do for your mental peace? Like, you got to take some time out for yourself.
I'm like this. I got like different outlets. I done went skydiving a couple of times, bungee jumping, and anything to keep the thrill up. I do work out. I box at home. I spend time with the kids. I go outside with them. What keeps my mental at ease is me keeping busy. A lot of times we just sit there and try to use things as coping mechanism, like drugs, alcohol, stuff like that. Coping mechanism actually can make things worse, because when you don't have it, that substance, you think back on it. So I stay away from the substance most of the time.
So, no, I'm sorry, go ahead. No, so, William, coming up from your background, did you come from was your dad at home? Was your father in your life growing up? Or what was a little bit of your background?
I grew up in the same neighborhood y'all grew up in.
Right.
So
Yep.
it was normal to me, but as you get older, my normal wasn't they normal. So the crack era, whatever, I mean, I love my mom, all that, getting high, smoking crack, this, that, and the other. So I'm from grandmother to grandmother. My father's like a known street nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? He wears suits every day, like to
Yeah,
today.
3P2's
You know
like,
what I'm saying?
like Michael Corleone and
With
shit.
the-
Shout out to Pops.
American Gangster, what's one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
alligator suitcase.
For real. The Godfather of Harlem.
The 357 in the
Bobby
newspaper and
Johnson.
shit.
You
up under
dig?
his arm and shit. So
So
that's
you
how I
watching
grew
this?
up.
Yeah.
But
He's a legend.
far
Yeah, he
as
a
like
legend.
her question from the beginning for how women affected men,
Trigger
this and that,
y'all.
your mental, like I never had that love from my mother, like I love you, but it was always like like you got functional alcoholics, you had functional crackheads. So
Yeah.
she worked at the post office. She making guap. So I stayed fresh. I went to private school to the 8th grade, and I just wanted to be in the streets. Also, I went to Central. After I got in the streets, it was
a wrap.
A rap, because I was already a street.
Right.
All the people, like
'Cause you
everybody,
watching, you was
everybody
bound by
fuck
that
with
shit.
me. You know what I'm
You
saying?
grew up in it.
But as far as going back to the question, like, so that was the first thing. This is not that I can look at it now as an adult and like the data you could really logically, like when you don't, like my mother, love you, I love you, this and that. She was gone.
She was going through her own
You know what I'm
thing,
saying?
though.
So that fucked me up from right there. I can't receive love from a woman because off the rip, like,
Your mother.
I don't
first
even know how to
domesticated
receive
woman.
that shit. Like,
So the relationship with your mother affect your relationship with women now?
well, now that I look at it from the question she asked, you see what I'm saying? Like, that really fucked with me, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because I don't even know what the fuck love is, because that's the first
that's
woman
the word,
I'm
right.
supposed to love.
She birthed you.
So unacknowledgedly, never acknowledged it. I felt abandoned. Like, damn, you this shit over me. You rather smoke this shit than fucking be there for. You see what I'm saying? So no matter what materialistic shit you did,
It's still there.
I always got that resentment towards you. You know what I'm
That
saying?
emptiness.
Even like, you know, I love my mama or whatever,
Sure.
cause
Yeah, for sure. That's
but
your mom.
I think about that shit. You know what
And
I'm
it
saying?
affected you how you
Yeah,
dealt
like
with
now she
females?
ain't getting high. Well.
So
I come
look,
from
so
the-
you didn't know how to express yourself. You might a badass, cold ass bitch, independent, beautiful, got her shit tight. She into you. She want to be with you. She's showing you all kind of love. Did you know how to receive that from her? Did you know how to handle her with care? Or you dogged the
I
bitch?
grew up where I grew up, so I was more prone to the women in the same environment
hood.
that I was in. So,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? I grew up around the street chicks, so they were scandalous. They cutthroat.
So you didn't trust no woman. Have you ever got with a woman that you fully trust? I'm talking about from the point where you was dating till now in your current lifestyle, your life you living.
I had one serious relationship ever in my life.
Damn.
And I've never stayed in the same house with a woman and not have another place. I've never had to just deal with that. Like,
So you always kept a plan B?
well, I mean, we was in the streets, so I would have always had other places. My whole point is, if you go crazy, I just leave.
If you start
I
tripping
ain't
or
have
do
to.
something that I don't
I didn't have to.
Here
like,
you go.
like you said, 9 to 5 guy or whatever. So a 9 to 5 guy, he would have had to stay there, like deal with that shit. I ain't gotta. I'll come back months later, bitch. You talk crazy to me, and the bills will be paid. And
He was on bullshit because the bitch cooked the steak too hard. I'm leaving. Bitch, I'm
You
gone.
was quick trick with it?
Yeah, he was
Hold on, let me
quick.
see.
Yeah, but
You
I'm
was
saying
quick.
like I was crazy about different girls, but I only had one serious relationship for about
Okay.
15 years. That
that's a
where
nice length
people
of time,
seen
though.
the person and say that's his woman. You know what I'm saying, or whatever, whatnot. So like,
But that was
yeah.
from you carrying a trauma from your days of when your bonding what you thought it should be, so that affected your relationship. with
Yeah,
women.
not that I look at it now, and well, yeah, that. But at the same time, the type of women that I met were in the proximity of where I was coming from. So if you in the streets and you messing with they own shit too.
Okay, they was on the
So
same
we
good
both
shit.
all.
So it's cool.
I mean, it just was what. But I take full blame for everything.
How was
But
your relationship? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now, what's some things you do to improve your mental health?
acknowledge it. And then I'm
That's
at
the
the
first
point
step.
right now, like, I ain't trying to compromise. I don't really want
Right.
to work it out. Like, I don't
Oh.
really give a fuck. Like, what's
So you
up?
got I
feel
don't give a
it.
fuck
I feel
attitude
it.
now to
I
a
always
woman or to
kinda had that.
to a woman
Yes,
or to
he
a
always
life?
had that arrogant.
I know that,
Yeah.
So he had an arrogant attitude. Fuck you, bitch. Get out of here. I can get another you. Watch this.
Because I can't work something out.
Hello?
I can't work something out with somebody that ain't acknowledging nothing wrong with them. You know, think
Okay,
about
that's
this. I got a
important.
question for you.
That's important.
But I got a question for you.
For me? Okay.
How many women have you talked to? And you know, like when you meet women, they gonna say, "Well, relationships and how many?" You know, that's just general question. How many women you ever met that just say, "Well, I had a good guy, I fucked up."
Not many.
Thank you.
Not many. But you know
But
what?
you know, logically, that's impossible.
It's
No,
impossible.
it's not. I
But,
can
but
be-
you know what? A lot of it too is, and this particular segment, I'm gonna kind of bring it back, but I want to acknowledge something. This is about men, but a lot of women have a lot of mental issues, and some of it. And I was gonna ask you this question, Wimberly. Some of it is father issue.
Oh yeah,
So do you have daughters, or what do you have? You mentioned kids.
I have one daughter, 2 boys, same woman, my ex-wife.
Right, your ex-wife, yeah. So a lot of what he was just talking about to me, when I see some women, I think about the relationship they got with their father. And I see the relationship, whether it's good or bad. I remember when I've been married twice, well, technically 3 times, because,
Damn.
well, one, you know I got back.
My memory fucked
I
up.
got
You was
back-
married 3 times?
Well, twice. but
Damn,
I ain't
what
gonna
the
get back
hell?
with my first wife. But anyway,
Damn.
don't get this
So I
one
ain't gonna
started.
play it.
Right,
I'm chilling
But
today.
I remember my ex not having a real relationship with her father. I remember when he passed, she didn't even cry. I cried. You know what I mean? I cried. And I thought about it like an ATM. You know, you're only going to get out of that relationship what you put into it.
Yeah.
And I remember her literally not crying, at least not in front of me. I think maybe one time she broke down through the process of waiting for the funeral and all that kind of stuff. But it was like she was dry.
Right.
You know, when it came to the relationship with her father. So I wanted to ask you, I wanted to go back. Did you have a real relationship with your grandmother? You said you lived with your grandmother.
My mother's mother, she died when I was pretty young. She had cancer. Then my father's mother, she died from cancer too. So I was always
But you
raised
lived with them at some point.
from like
You was in between?
like one of my grandmas stayed like on Burlingame, then on Leslie, so 20 block radius, and I was all up between them streets. So I really was raised around my daddy. Like if you ever be around me, I'd be like, my daddy this, my daddy. I'm one of them guys. My daddy. Then you got these guys. They be my mama, my mama. I ain't that guy.
Yeah, my youngest son
Like, you
is
know,
like that. My oldest
yeah.
son is mama.
Yeah, you
My
get what I'm
youngest son
saying?
is
So
daddy all
I'm the
time.
daddy guy. Like, yeah, my daddy taught me how to get my pants tapered or got my nails. When my daddy taught me get some money, pay yourself first. You know, I always say quotes from my grandfather and my father. So
yeah.
I'm more of man.
Frank
man,
Lucas.
man.
Frank Lucas is daddy. That's where he get his swag from.
Is there a particular, when it comes to changing the curse, we talked about breaking the curse, and William pointed out that I said that in the last segment. When it comes to just your daughter in particular,
Right.
is it some message or a certain way you raise her or some things you don't want her to see or things that she see in terms of,
Yes, there's some things I do with my daughter. So one thing I noticed that my ex-wife had a problem in, her father was not there. Her father had like 16 kids. You know, he'd been married about 8 times.
We was slinging
right?
shit
Full-on game week.
everywhere.
So-
Slanging D everywhere.
The problem
Very
with my ex-wife mother was, my ex-wife was a mother before she became a mother. She was raising both her brothers while her mother ran the streets. So one thing I do not allow my daughter to do, I don't allow my daughter to sit there and watch her brothers because that's not her responsibility. She's
I
not
like
their
that.
mother. That's
You
my
don't
job.
force her to babysit.
I don't force her to do that. Like my ex-wife, when she was in high school, because we grew up together. We known each other since we was 9 years old. So when my little baby girl want to do an after-school event, she's doing it. You know, I'm teaching her how to drive right now. She's 14. Make sure all the kids in my house got the lights before they got out of, high school. So a lot of things that my ex-wife went through, I make sure my daughter don't go through that
so
shit.
she ain't gonna not go to that event because she got to keep your brother.
No, you
Hell
change the
no.
dynamic.
changing the
See, I
dynamic.
grew up when we had to watch our siblings.
Generational curses are real. So I'm saying that's why a lot of times I don't blame.
I like that, though.
I don't blame my ex-wife for a lot of things that happened in our marriage because why? She was never given a good fucking advice. So I'm saying, and I used to always tell her back when we was married, like, don't get advice. You get advice from the wrong people. You know, she had grandparents that been married for 40 years. You know, she didn't want to get advice from them about marriage. She wanted to get advice from her mother that was married 4 times. Like, this is professional, failure. Like, that's like me going to a fag and, like, how to make love to a woman. How the fuck would a fag know? I'm gonna ask this nigga for. How in the hell would he know? You know what I'm saying?
knew that was coming.
And I told her,
His
like,
brother.
this is the same shit you're doing. You asking the wrong people advice.
Right.
You know? So, I changed generational curse by not doing the same thing her father did, her mother did. I had to make the hardest choice after my divorce because I got my ex pregnant by accident, My pull-up game was weak.
Come on back. You looking at everybody, you know.
Okay,
He
wait a
was
minute,
loving
wait a
it. It
minute.
wasn't no accident. Shot that
I
shit
got-
Did
up.
you get pregnant?
I got
His
one.
ex.
Not my ex-wife.
No, I know. That's why I'm
It,
pointing it out.
it was a chick I was messing with after, when I was going through my separation.
Oh, okay.
I noticed how crazy she was. I'm looking like, you know what? I can't let history repeat itself. So I had to make the fucked up decision to go ahead and just get fixed. Because my thing's this.
Damn.
you
He
got
cut
it.
that mug.
Yeah, I had to.
He cut the
I'm
water
gonna tell you,
While you were
off.
going through a separation, you got someone else pregnant.
Yep.
And then he got
And she had a baby?
No. She got an abortion.
Okay.
It was her body, her choice. I was against it, but because it's her body, man, I had to let her make that decision. Okay. So I got fixed because I noticed a pattern on me. A lot of times we like to blame our baby mamas, but a lot of times we've been knowing these motherfuckers be crazy before we get them pregnant. I knew this shit.
Y'all like the crazy
like,
one.
No, but I knew
Hey,
this motherfucker was
where
crazy.
my dad at? I love you, man. I love
knew
you
she
so
was
much.
crazy.
I love you,
so
daddy.
Even though I was against an abortion, she got it. I had to tell myself, like, you know what, bro? You make bad decisions with your dick, bro. You might need to fix some things in your life, or your kids gonna go through the same shit you went through as a kid. So I had to sacrifice so they can have a better future. Because I can't be, I was like this, I can't be trying to raise them with having another crazy baby. I already got one. I don't need two.
Oh, so you knew she was a little off.
Yeah, like,
And he still
Did
got
you
right.
gravitate to her for some reason, or were you lonely at the time, or you was going through something?
I was like
because
this.
Your relationship was going.
I was
south?
raised by two mothers. So I'm saying my biological mother, then my stepmother that my father got married to.
Okay.
My biological mother, she was always batshit crazy. You know, hood rat chick. And for some
His
reason,
mama,
your
too, she was
biological
a
mother.
hood rat.
yeah. So for some reason,
that's my
a man always gravitate to
Y'all
somewhat
so
his mother.
stupid.
So I'm saying, so I
say that.
like hood rat chicks. Motherfuckers stay in the project. That's my type. I don't know why. So I
hood
noticed,
rat chick.
like, I made bad decisions.
Project, bitch.
But
Guaranteed.
one thing is true though. When you got kids with somebody, you got to deal with them for a very long
Yeah.
time.
For sure.
When you ain't got kids, nobody. I can fuck with you for 3 years straight, and after we break up, I cannot
That's
deal with
it.
your ass. That's it.
Right.
I mean,
You got kids?
Yeah, I got 2 kids.
Boy, girl?
Yeah, I got a man and a woman. My daughter is she be 22 in September, and my son will be 31. I got a
definitely
granddaughter
man and
that's
woman.
5.
Okay.
Man, your son how old?
30.
He 30, he be
Damn.
31. And they birthdays 4 days apart. But I got a stronger relationship with my son than my daughter.
Is there certain things that you, as they were growing up, obviously, like you said, they are men and women now.
Yeah.
But even though they're men and women now, they still are influenced by you.
Yeah.
Is there certain things you did or didn't do when they were growing up, like kept them away from certain
Well,
things?
my son
exposed
is
you
from
to-
the suburbs, so I never brung
Had
him
to-
around.
Oh, okay. You
Nothing,
protected
you know
him
what
in
I'm
a
saying?
different
Because
way.
I felt like that's what happened to me.
You weren't walking up
You was
Linwood like us.
exposed to too much.
No, he don't know nothing about no Linwood. Well, he do, cause
Show them where you were from.
his cousins and like stuff like that, they
They from over
daddies
there.
are from
Sure.
like Dexter and stuff like that. So he
Okay.
he
He familiar with it,
yeah, but,
but
he,
he wasn't
ain't
in the
never
thick of
had
it.
to, you know what I'm saying? He ain't he
What about your daughter?
yeah, she see what I'm saying. They,
But her family from the
mama
streets,
never
too.
wanted to. Yeah, they street like the grandma
the
from the
streets.
whole like.
The hood,
So
get
like
money.
you know what I'm saying, and then like it was kind of bitter ending with that. So, in my opinion, this is my opinion. Her mama kind of put a bunch of shit in her head and you know like that. So
And then
like my son is just all love. Like
Okay.
you know what I'm saying. Like he think I'm the realest nigga in the fucking world. Like you know what I'm saying.
period.
That's
That's how
what
it's
you should.
supposed to
Thing,
be.
yeah.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
are to him, for sure.
Yeah, but he like he staying with like Rochester now, like, but he
Mm-hmm.
from his mama was from Oak Park, so like he, so, you know what I'm saying, he could be in the street, but he ain't from the streets.
You his
You know what I'm
superhero.
saying?
He familiar with
Yeah,
it.
he got a girl, he work, you know, got his degree.
Doing what he's
Doing the
supposed to
steady
do.
job.
thing, you know what I'm saying?
He doing the opposite of what you did, which
Yeah,
it pays
so-
off more going the route
So
he
that
went.
and you know his mama, you know, and all them. So
Do you carry like what you went through with your ex-wife into your new relationships? Like, do you try to point little things out like, oh, she crazy too, and she may not be? You think you still got something lingering? As soon as you meet somebody, you see something familiar and you run.
I was like,
Damn.
I was like this.
That's a
Get
fair
the
question.
hell on.
I can't mess with her. I'm running.
In each
Be
relationship,
crazy.
I don't look at what they did wrong. I look at what I did wrong. If I date 3 females and they keep on saying I have communication issues, I must have communication issues. Because these motherfuckers don't know each other. So they keep on saying you got communication issues. It must be something about my communication issues that's fucked up. And then I won't blame you for something that somebody else did. I'm not gonna do that. I don't bring into an ex relationship to the new relationship. Now, I can say that we gotta identify red flag patterns. So if I dealt with 2 chicks that had the same red flag pattern, the third one come around had the same red flag pattern, then don't be stupid. Leave it alone.
Y'all got it. One of y'all think, and you don't have to admit it or not. I know we're gonna put this out here. Do either one of y'all think you might have needed therapy?
I
it
went
is.
to therapy before.
I love therapy.
It didn't. I
Didn't do
think
what
your
it needed to do.
therapist got to be able to relate to your circumstances because they don't even know how to deal with some of the stuff that I know, and they think it ain't even true. And then when they find out it's true, they don't know
Like,
how
ain't
to.
nobody dealt with
so
that
it got
before.
to be somebody on your level that can even
That's so true.
guide you into a certain
That's familiar.
because they ain't familiar with none of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, like certain things I've been through, I've learned that that's people fantasy. They never experienced
The
it.
stuff that we went through.
Yeah, I done, lived 9 lives. So you got to have a therapist on that level. Because first of all, most of it's going to take them a couple visits for them. They think you lying.
Yup.
What about you?
Do I need to take therapy?
Have you been to therapy? It's cool. Therapy is
I'm
fun.
just like this. I was required to do therapy session, like the counseling shit, doing the divorce proceeding. That's something that the judge ordered. But me personally, like as of right now, do I think I need it? Yeah, I probably do. Do I have time for it? Fuck no. I'm working like 120 hours, 140 hours every 2 weeks. I don't have time for it.
What about you?
I think, for mental health, for me, a lot of things come into play, but I think depression is one. And I think I need therapy. Like, my depression started at a young age. My brother, he got murdered when he was 18 years old. Mm-hmm. He got murdered on Clemens and LaSalle. I'm from Linwood, too. Mm-hmm. And
Rest in peace.
my mom, at the time, she wasn't strong enough to go in the morgue and go back there to identify his body. So I had to do that. I had to see them open up a drawer and pull him out. And then...
Wait a minute, how old was you when you had to identify your brother? He was older than you, wasn't he?
Yeah, so he might have been...
was like, what, 15?
Wait a minute. Yeah, I was...
And that affects you to this day?
Yes.
That
But not
trauma.
only that, and then in 2018, I lost my mom. 9 months after that, I lost my dad.
Rest in peace, man.
So I lost my dad and mom within 9 months. You know what I'm saying? So I get depressed a lot, and what I do, I go to the liquor store and get me a drink. So yeah,
That's how a
I
lot
think
of us
that I need therapy. Yeah,
Well, I had
but
therapy.
depression is real. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
It's
it
real.
is. In therapy, like I gotta go back to what he said. You have to. Your therapist had to be familiar. My therapist was seasoned. She was like almost 70. She was a black woman. She lived life. She had experience, so she could relate to me. Any therapist you get with, you got to be relatable. You don't want to lay up there talking to anybody. You follow me? And my thing
that's
with
true.
therapy, if you ain't got no PhD, you can't be my therapist. A therapist, because they got all these little different therapists. No, my therapist he gotta be a real doctor. I ain't about to sit up here and lay down and share with you about my life. And you won't have your PhD. No, that's the first thing. But you gotta be careful who you choose as a therapist, because things could get worse instead of better for you. But therapy was so great for me. I love therapy. It just was so expensive. It was $250 an hour, but I love therapy.
That's a
$250
that's
an
a
hour?
good
therapist.
But
It was
that's a
good.
great
She was
therapist.
good. And she was like, ooh, I love
But I would say
Dr.
this:
Fry.
that's
Shout out.
that's part of the issue, though. When you talk about therapists,
The cost?
the cost, not having access to,
Oh,
not
right,
having,
yeah.
not
And
having
then-
to be able to afford it, not
Then the
it's
state
not
want
on
to
your
give you somebody that's
insurance.
not a damn.
It's not on your
without
insurance.
that PhD,
It's
some
not
bitch
so.
with
You
her
talking
bachelor's in
about
math.
$250 an hour? 1 hour ain't like you said. One
hour
hour
ain't enough.
You done went 5 times before you even felt the difference. You out of 12.
I had like an African guy, and he was,
No.
Ain't no free
You
therapy.
needed some relatable person.
It probably is, but
his mind
he from
state was
Linwood. He from-
the
he- me and
family
you.
and
gave
all
him
stuff that I don't think like that.
I'm
So everything he
His
was
structure
trying to
was
pump
different.
into me was
Was
stuff
not
I didn't care
reality.
about. I don't
Right.
think like that. I don't value what like normal society look at and what they value. You know what I'm saying? So I don't move that way. He couldn't relate to me. So what he was talking about, I didn't care.
Didn't even matter.
Yeah, because
It was a waste of your
I
time.
wasn't like they say like life is a game, but you could pick your game. So the trophy he was trying to obtain, I looked at it as hollow.
Okay.
And
Because he wasn't relatable.
when my grandfather was alive, that trophy was solid gold. It was heavy. But times done
Shout out to
changed.
Grandpa.
So you could put in work as a man now, but the benefits ain't the same.
Yeah.
You don't get back out of stuff like what I saw my grandfather. See, I seen my grandfather and my grandmother together, so I know what the dynamic of relationships is. And nowadays, they just acting like they in relationships. It ain't.
I want to touch on
same
something.
stuff.
In the black communities, there's no more grandfathers and uncles and stuff. They're physically there,
They
but
transition.
they're not the same. We can't. You know what I mean? We got a group text going right now where we mad at one of the uncles. Like, dude, get out the text.
I don't do group text. I'm not
we
in
had
there.
to
I'm not
take
in
her
that
out.
text.
We had to
Don't
take
put
her
me
out.
in that
Everybody in
shit.
there last name Hardaway.
But me.
Just like hers. So when I say family, I mean literally blood. But we don't have the uncles and the grandfathers and the fathers that we need. I'm not talking about our kids. I always tell my kids sometimes I wish I had a me. You know what I mean? I say that all the time. Everybody don't even know what I'm talking about when I say it. They probably tired of me saying, like, all right, Dad, we get it. You know, but I always think that. And I'm quite sure you probably wish you had a you or you wish you had a you.
No,
and
I
our
got a father,
grandfathers.
so, yeah, my
well,
father-
yeah,
Y'all
and that's
got
a
a
good
good
thing.
relationship?
Like
Yeah, but you know what I'm
active.
saying.
So,
But not just your dad, but you work in a prison. How many
Yeah.
of those guys needed a
Yeah,
you?
it's missing a lot.
Yeah, they
stuff.
needed a you.
It's
You know
highly
what I
missing
mean?
our
It's
community.
not a lot of them.
Highly missing.
It's some. I'm not. So I take that back. You're right. There are fathers and men out there,
Yeah.
but they're just not plentiful like it used to be, where you could just, and not just your blood father, not Mr. Wembley. I'm talking about Mr.
be a
Smith
role
across the
model.
street that used to be able to go sit on his porch
and
and
talk to
school
him.
you. You don't have that no more.
No more.
So that's what I mean. So that's what I just wanted
So
to
in
say.
closing out episode 7, I always ask my guests, hosts, and my co-hosts and the people on the panel, share some with us that somebody might can carry with them as far as that's battling with physical health, mental health, and just having just going through a rough patch. What would your advice be to them when you went through your rough patch? Or it could be anything. Like, I encourage guys to start going to the doctors regularly for physical checkups, mental checkups, and all that. You might can prevent some that lies ahead that you might run into. You can prevent that. Heart disease is the number one killer. But what would you like
Go
to
to
share?
the doctor, get your checkups. Like I said, if you're going through depression, find somebody to talk to, even if you got to talk to God.
That's right.
Don't overlook the little things, because it could be something big. And these women, you got to go to the doctor and get your cooter mama checked out. You got to.
That's real.
Yeah, they walking around with these sauerkrauts.
That affects all
You
of
got to go to your OBGYN.
You got to go get that. Yeah, got to go get that pep, get that sauerkraut in check.
And that's that.
Right, so. For me, I think one thing that I would, from the first segment we talked about is your health, and that's probably going to be a consensus of most of us on this panel. But getting checked out, and stop thinking that you're eating good when you're eating crap.
Yeah.
Some people could go to Coney Island and get this big chili fries, and all right, man, we about to eat good, and really you eating bad. And it's about quality of life. So all of us got to die from something, but you don't want to be walking around with heart disease or diabetes or can't walk. I know a guy who got a bag on. You know what I mean? Like and it came from smoking. His lungs and stuff like that. So you don't want to be walking around with a poor quality of life just because you want to eat some crap or smoke or get high. I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself, but I would say just tone it down and take your health first.
Health is wealth.
Health is first in my book. Now, it wasn't always, but
That's
it is
good,
now.
though.
More of like before I had got on here, I was listening to Ken, and he was saying like a guy can have all this jewelry, whatever, but then the guy come in, he fit this, that, and other. And as I get older, like people I know, they dying at 40, 45, having heart attacks and strokes and all that. So like they say, health is wealth, and you gotta. If you can't watch what you put in your mouth, you can't watch what come out of it. So you gotta
That's
be
right.
on your. You gotta have discipline, and that's just that.
That's right. What you got?
I feel like you're going through any kind of mental health problems. I say surround yourself around people that can actually keep you inspired.
Yeah.
Watch your surroundings. You got surroundings of people that's negative. Stay away from that surrounding. Surround yourself with positive people. Positive people are always going to keep you uplifted. They're always going to try to get in your head about your health, whether it's mental health or physical health.
That's true.
A lot of times you can control your crowd.
Yeah.
So you can control your crowd of people. You can change their mental health and physical health.
That's true.
On that note, I want to thank my guest host, Ken Kareem. I want to thank my guest man, Wu-Tang, Mr. Wembley. I appreciate y'all for coming on and sharing. Y'all know this is an open seat for y'all. Anytime y'all want to come on and discuss any type of serious subject, or you just want to laugh and talk shit with me, come on through. Man, and you heard it from them. You heard it from the horse's mouth. Health is wealth. So take care of you. You only get one you and one life to live as we know of now. Thank you for tuning in to episode 7. Peace.